Welcome to the Weekly Social, folks. Everything Katy, Fulshear, Richmond, Texas. Today we have Margie Burciaga with Home Tax Shield, as well as Priscilla Pop, Select Title. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Glad to be here today.
Sure.
She drove all the way in from Austin just to do this.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Thank you
this
so
morning.
much.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
hmm
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
And I don't want to share my boots, but Jake, maybe by the end of the podcast, you may have to kind of share Margie's boots because they are amazing.
Thank
Yes.
you. Yeah,
Yes.
kind
Can
of a
you
boot
see them in the
collector.
podcast by chance?
See, I'm gonna put my foot up.
There you go. There you go. They are gorgeous. Absolutely. And who is the lady you told me?
Marcia Wright. She designs Azulado, Azulado.
They're
You can get them
gorgeous.
through Allen's Boots.
Oh, they are just amazing. All
Thank
right.
you.
So, okay.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, Margie.
Well, I'm a native Texan. I
Hooray.
grew up in Dallas. Born and raised here, fourth generation. Moved to Austin in '87. Have been there ever since.
Fun city.
Yeah, it's been a great city. At the time, we had that was when the banking industry was, or savings and loan, I should say,
Oh,
was
yes, the credit union.
crashing.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
The
my
80s.
ex-husband worked in the savings and loan, and I was in banking. And so we needed to make a strategic move, and we ended up going to Austin. And I've been very happy with it. So we raised our family there. Now, one of them is back there. One of them's in Boston. The other one is in Thailand.
Oh, wow.
And so, yes. And so, can't wait to go visit him.
Oh, yes.
In
yes.
the midst of planning that.
One of my clients' daughters just the other day said that their daughter was in Thailand. So
Oh,
just
really?
Yeah. So and then you
Isn't
say that, it's like, wow.
odd? I know. Yeah, I'm really excited.
I love
to-
Thai food.
I do too. Yes, I do too. And he said, when he gets to eat sushi like 3 or 4 times a week, and it's pennies
Oh.
on the dollar versus what we pay.
Yes.
So anyway,
So
I'm
what is he
excited.
over there for?
He wanted a break. He got COVID burnout. He actually was an engineer, civil engineer, and got burned out and went over there and started teaching chemistry and physics and English to high school kids.
Oh, wow.
And now he is doing AI and data analysis remotely for companies here in the United States. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, so
Good
he's
for him.
very happy and entrenched.
Good for him. Yeah.
I
But
want
Mom-
him back,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I want him happy too.
But that's
so-
okay. You can go see
Yes,
him.
yes,
Yes. That's
yes.
an adventure.
Yeah, it could be worse places to
Yes,
go.
ma'am.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
anyway, it's good.
But you do some really great stuff for stuff that we have on the horizon that's coming out right in front of us.
Yes, very important. Today is your last day to pay your property tax bill.
Yes.
It is January 31st. Starting tomorrow, anybody that has not paid their taxes, you will be assessed penalty and interest 7%, going up to 13% by July 1st.
I didn't know
So,
those were the percentages. Thank
It
you.
is critical that you pay your taxes on time. A lot of people don't realize that when they get their assessment for their bills, and it usually comes November, sometime this year more of them came in December because so many counties raised their tax values. The constituents voted for a raise in their taxes. Warning, warning.
Yeah.
Everybody did that to themselves.
Yeah.
And so they were a little bit later getting the assessed tax value bills out. But you're still, regardless, it's kind of like ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Mm-hmm.
The bill is due January 31st, no matter what. Even if you don't get the bill, you have access to online. You are
Right.
still responsible for
Right.
paying that bill.
Whether
Right.
you received it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If
you
it
have-
went to the wrong address,
Yes,
whatever,
yeah,
you're
you are
still liable because
responsible.
it's on the website.
So
Mm-hmm.
escrow your taxes, escrow your insurance
Yes.
if you have a loan, and
But
let
also
the
go
third party.
online. It's important, especially if you purchased in the last year, to go online and make sure that even your lender has paid those taxes.
And that it's in your
It's
name.
still your responsibility.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, how many times have you seen mistakes on the tax rolls?
Yes, it's true.
Lots.
And it is
Lots.
important.
I'm working through one today that I got your team helping me
Yeah,
with.
right. So, I mean, because, everybody's like, the taxing authority will pull the deed and get it changed. Well, you can also help them to have that information and send it in that there's a name change and here's the deed that goes with it.
Which
So,
you get a copy of that form at closing at Select Title.
right.
Done it a couple times with
A
you.
couple of times, just a few times, yes. So, but it's very important, and we've been inundated this month with a lot of phone calls.
Oh, I bet. And making sure everything's right.
Right.
Well, just so your audience knows, I'm with Home Tax Shield, and we're throughout Texas. We're in 48 counties and growing. And so we do property tax protesting.
That's a small market, right? 48 counties in Texas?
Yeah, thousands and thousands. So all the major counties we are in. So when we say major counties and the peripheral, obviously that's Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and El Paso. And those counties surrounding it,
And the
we're
metro
in those,
areas,
the
yeah.
metro areas. It's interesting we would be saying El Paso, but it's true.
God,
There's
that El
so much
Paso
going
is,
out there.
yes. Oh,
And,
wow. Wow.
What
So-
about McAllen? Do you do anything? Because I know there's big growth down there right now,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
We're in 48 counties, so
Okay.
it's just, and our information, and we'll go into that in just a minute, but we do have a way for our real estate industry professionals, lenders, realtors, private wealth managers, CPAs. You can become a partner with Home Tax Shield. Doesn't cost you anything. And by signing up with us, you have access to a lot of information that you can push out to your clients to
Really?
make you look really smart. And
We like that.
We like that. We like
And,
that. Because what? You cannot be the master of everything.
No,
Yes.
you
Yes.
And the
Yes.
nice thing is we had it published this past year also in Spanish. So we have it in English and Spanish. So when you said South Texas.
Okay.
We actually, we're in Corpus in that area. So we have all of our information in the infographics is in Spanish as well.
So tell us a little bit about Home Tax Shield.
What makes I think y'all stand out so well, I'll tell one thing. I have been trying to get somebody that does the tax protesting, one of the companies, to come in and talk forever.
Wow, really?
Since we started.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's a hot topic.
Yes.
Of course it is. You got to deal with it
Nobody
every
really-
year.
Nobody wants to pay too much taxes.
Nobody returned my phone call.
Wow.
Nobody.
Yep, so thank you.
Wow, you're welcome.
So that's why I was so excited meeting you. You already have a CE credit class going. I mean, it's...
Oh, so you're a CE instructor as
Yes.
well? Okay.
And so it provides so much benefit to our customers, our people listening to this podcast. I mean, that's why I was so excited, Margie.
Wow.
Yes. So
To cut
I
you off,
had to
But we need to explain CE. That's continuing education,
for realtors.
for realtors. So
And so that's a class you
Yes.
do. But you shared also this morning that you had to go and get certified
With the
yourself.
state of Texas, yes.
And tell them a little bit about that.
I said the state of Texas does have a certification process for being able to be called a property tax consultant. Now, a realtor, an appraiser, an attorney can do property tax protesting. They can get certified as well. I don't remember, their hours are like 4 or 8 hours they'd have to complete and then test.
That's not
If they wanted to get certified in it.
Okay.
But those of us that, have not been an appraiser, not an attorney, or an agent, then you have to go through classes, just like you do with real estate or lending or whatever, and get certified with the state. So I am certified with the state. With Home Tax Shield, what differentiates us from our competitors is when we are extremely heavy on technology. I would call us the industry disruptor because of how heavy we are in technology. In fact, I would say
that's awesome.
probably 80%, if not more, of our employee base is tech.
Wow.
Total tech. and how we get data to push out to our partnerships in order, and then to also be able to provide the best services possible for all of our clients that we work with. And we have CE. I got us Trek approved this past spring, early spring, to do a class, CE, continuing education, 1 hour credit for real estate.
Great.
That's awesome.
I can teach the class to like lenders, CPAs, financial planners, but it's not certified
For them.
I think CPAs. There's. Well, I'm
You
working
could,
on it. There is a
you
way.
could get some,
But
yeah,
it's
right.
definitely for realtors, which we all know, they have to get CE. It's a 1 hour CE credit for taking our class. We offer it both in person and online.
Okay.
So you can go to Home Tax Shield. We constantly are running those, or we can
Yeah,
set
I
it up with your agency or your
And then-
title company.
Yes, and I'm not a real estate agent, and I
Yes.
listened to it, and then one of your employees, reached out to me and said, "Okay, what's your license number so we can get you
Yes.
your credit?"
Oh.
Sorry, don't have that. I
No.
just wanted to learn more about what you were doing.
And Samuel is one of my colleagues who is teaching the class, and he also is an attorney.
Okay.
And so we got, so Craig Hancock is our CEO. He used to be in GPS with the Air Force, so he's very into technology.
So GPS global positioning.
And so he
Wow.
he learned, what was interesting is that through a number of ways in which he learned that about 82 to 85% of property owners don't purchase their properties.
I can believe that.
And he
See, 80-20
That
80-20
high.
will 20% of the people do
Yeah.
80% of the business.
Yes,
It
isn't that
is.
crazy?
Oh,
It applies
my
to everything.
So he
gosh.
was like, "Oh my goodness, this is a sheer miss." So he helped form this company with another partner, Chris Aaron, who is a CPA,
Okay.
and they started this company. But they wanted to do it different, bigger and better, and be very high on the technology end. So we're able to scale our business, which is part of why sometimes, to be fair to some of most property tax consultants are very small businesses. They're, 1, 10, they're small offices. They only have X amount of time. Typically, they don't have the bandwidth. But because we do ours differently, we're so heavy into technology. And our research is done through technology predominantly. Obviously, there's times where, it has manual hours, but on balance, very high on technology. We're able to scale at a volume that nobody else can do.
Wow. Wow.
And
And
which is very unique in the industry. On balance, our tax agents, we don't go into an county where we don't have an agent to represent us that is experienced, for one,
In that
When you
county.
say
in property tax
agent,
accounting. So like a tax agent
Okay.
to represent us.
Not a real
so
estate
say,
agent.
say like Harris County or Travis County or,
Okay.
Fort Bend, wherever we may be. Typically they've, on average, our tax agents have about 18 years of experience.
That's a lot.
So they
Yeah.
know, they understand when you're talking about that, they understand that county,
Yes.
what the differences, because there are differences in each county.
Right.
huge.
So to understand, in every county, the appraisal board, the review board, has about 30 to 50 factors that they might take into account
30 to 50.
for any one property. So hold that thought just a minute.
Yeah,
Let me
that's a
back it
lot.
up to every single county, because most of what we do in property tax consulting and in the tax side, be it at the appraisal district or the tax assessor's office, it's all legislated by law. So there's a lot of things where people think we should be able to do something different. We can't, because we're legislated by law how we do things.
So you're governed as well.
We're
basically.
very governed. So January 1st of every year, every single county chief appraiser must approve all the property values. And then they approve it on January 1st. They push it out to all property owners in April. They start sending out their notice of appraised value. And you'll get it anywhere from April till, 1st of May typically. There is some leadway in the law where if something happens and they don't get it out, you've got 30 days in which to protest from the date on the letter, not when you received it, but the date on the letter. So if it gets lost.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. May 15th is legislated by law when you have to protest your taxes. You must have something in
So just
to
like
your county appraisal district.
January 31st,
Yes.
taxes are due
May
May
15th,
15th,
you have to send in an appraisal.
for your protest.
And I mean, appraisal, protest. And let me share it. This is really, really important. If you don't protest and an error comes up in some way, yes, the county does tell you that you can protest late, but more often than not, it won't fall within the legislative laws of being able to allow you to have a hearing, and you will be stuck with whatever that value was until the following year. And the reason I share that, because I just now have worked with a client, I was hoping we might be able to get something worked out with the appraisal district. And it was an error, no fault of her own, but there was no protest given for the value of the property. And an exemption was put on to her tax bill that should not have been put on there.
A clerical error.
A clerical error. But even though it was a clerical error, the protest there was no protest against the value, saying basically the property owner was accepting the value, regardless of whether they had the exemption or not. And that's another reason why people 65 and older should always protest too. For two reasons. One, if there's any kind of error, we have room to go back and help fix that error. Very hard for us to go back if they haven't protested.
Is it retroactive to when the error started? And I'm just asking.
But no, that's what's so crummy. And because that value was not protested, the ARB chief appraiser, the board head chief of the board, would not allow us to protest it because in the law she had not protested the value, and regardless of what the error was. So it is so important. I cannot tell you how important it is to protest no matter what. And here's the other thing. If you get an IRS bill and you didn't run it through your computer software program or go to a CPA, then
CPA.
Then
Yeah,
then
CPA
you're
can
just
do that, yes.
then you're just stuck with that bill. You would
Right.
just pay the bill. But
Right.
how many out there actually just pay the bill they're given? If IRS just sent you a bill and said pay this amount, would you just pay that amount? You would want to go through all the processes to make sure that they did it right.
What I really owe. Yes.
But guys, get this. We know that about 82 to 85% of all property owners don't protest their taxes. So what they're saying is the bill they get is fair.
They're agreeing with them.
They're agreeing.
Right. Because, and step in, Richard, your appraised value with your property taxes, that's not your value of your property.
Correct.
Right.
And
Because I run into this a lot. Well, but on the tax rolls it says it's worth X amount. That's what we want to offer. But on the assessed value, it's under market value, and you always want to keep your assessed value down because nobody wants to pay more in taxes than they have to.
Right.
Exactly.
But the market's
and it's
bearing
better for
this.
the buyer that's coming in and taking the property too.
Exactly,
right?
because we're a non-disclosure state, so you're not disclosing
the
to
value.
the value
The
to the
market
state
value.
for whatever you paid for it.
Right.
That's still irrelevant to the sale of the property.
Right.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that, because so many people don't understand how that works and the
And
value.
so
Can I
many
hear-
people don't protest because
hit
they're afraid of that.
One quick high point.
Yes.
After we close, typically 6 to 8 weeks later, the appraisal district sends a letter that's very official looking, and they ask you what you paid for the house.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And Priscilla,
Don't do it. Do not.
throw it in the trash.
Do not.
It's
Shred it.
not required.
It's
Shred
not a
it.
legal document.
It's not a legal document. You were telling them exactly what to tax you on.
Do not.
We are a non-disclosure state.
So
They wanna know.
I'm guilty as charged because I was not in this business at the time. And I had bought the house that I'm currently in 2007. And I came in and bought it. And I shouldn't say gut, but I did a complete makeover. I didn't gut it, but it was more than a facelift.
Renovations.
It was
Right.
total renovation. And I get that notice. And I fill it all out. Well, I didn't know I was, cheating
Providing
myself.
You were helping yourself out
But
of
at
money.
but at the same time,
Had no idea. The realtor did not tell me about that. She may not have
Well,
even
they may
known.
not have. A lot of them
She
don't
may
even
not
know.
even
They
know.
don't.
or they just, you
Didn't
may have
think
said
about
it
it,
and
yes.
then you forgot it, when
Well,
you actually
anyway,
did.
I
So,
filled out that whole darn thing. I thought I had to do it. And so I ended up setting the values higher for our whole, and I'm in a gated garden home community. So not only did I shoot myself, I shot all my neighbors.
And once it goes up,
You don't even think about when
No.
you're doing that. You're
Yeah.
You're hurting. So
Yes.
that's the other reason to protest taxes, because you're actually being friendly, neighborly.
yes, you are.
For instance, take the same thing. I'm one of 52 houses in my little subdivision. If I was the only one protesting every year, none of them are doing it, do you think the county's going to move my value when all the 50 other ones are saying, oh, no, it's fine. This is fine.
Right.
And so
You're the thorn in the side. Everybody else is okay
Yeah.
with it.
So
Yeah.
you're just gonna have to live with it, chickie. And so, but if I have half or more than half protesting too, then we're saying to the county, whoa, 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 y'all need to do that. So be neighborly. All of you neighbors help each other out and
Is that
protest your
some
values.
data that you could pull, like, different neighborhoods, how many people actually protested taxes last year?
I don't know. Good question. I can ask our IT people.
Yeah, I'm
if
curious.
they could do that. That's a good question. But so this friend of mine that got caught in this situation with the exemption error, and I'll tell you in a second what that error was and why it's critical to know it too, is when I went to look up all the values in order to create a protest, if they would let me, which they're not, but most of her neighbors were not protesting. I would say the majority of them, and she too lived in a condo regime, and most of her neighbors aren't protesting.
But
So she's kind of stuck with that value.
Sure. But quick question. When we had like that explosive property values go up and people were locked in under homesteads and they could only go up X amount on assessment a year, there's some people that are trapped in that because they're looking at their assessed value and what market value is, and it's a huge swing difference. Should they still protest their taxes?
Well, yes. I mean, so for one, no good protest
You
company.
understand the question I'm asking, right?
No good protest company is going to throw a property under the bus. If they, I mean, there's not that many times where it doesn't work to go ahead and protest it, at least to kind of keep that market value.
Because a
tapped
lot
down.
of people are thinking, oh gosh, I'm way under market value. There's no reason for me to tickle the dragon.
Right.
Well,
Right.
the appraised value is staying down, but that market value, and if you're not tapping down that market value, at some point, and we've learned
Which we were talking
that
about this
over-
off camera.
Yes,
So
over
please
a
explain.
3 to 5 year period. So you get your notice of appraised value in April to May. You get two values on that notice of appraisal. You get a market value and you get appraised value. We have learned that over time, 3 to 5 year window, I would say probably 3.5 to 5 year window. If we're tapping down the market value, at some point it will get you where it'll catch up with that assessed value, where we can dip it down and work with it. So you want to be protesting, but if you continue to let this go way up, then that's going to take a whole lot longer time for us to be able to bring it
Which
down.
nobody's
And to
aware of
give
that
you-
that's watching this, I promise you.
And
Yes.
it's only a cost for y'all to help them and do all of that is $30.
$30
Yes.
to do that. And we
And y'all do that. There's no other cost, nothing else, but you're continuing to help them get that
right
down.
now you do need to be careful. There are other companies. We do have competitors, just like any industry. Some of our competitors will charge for the tap down of that market value. we only charge you a 30% tax success savings fee if we actually save you on your taxes.
So only
But
if they
we-
save X amount of money, it costs them 30% of the X amount of money.
Right,
that
but
they save.
their $30
Yes.
allows us to at least try to tap down their market value. Now, of all protesting out there, there's about 17, or at least within our company, we do thousands upon thousands of protests throughout Texas. There's about 17% of all of our clients that they do have a fair market value. But the only way you're going to know your market value was fair that year is to protest it. Otherwise, you're paying for it. Now, another interesting thing happened. Some of the values went down this year. So I should say 2024 went down. So we were kind of curious to see what that was going to look like with protesting. And we still found that we got reductions.
Awesome.
Because they weren't low enough. You have to be able to get your comparables, take it to the county, and they have to prove that their value was truly where it needed to be.
Yeah.
We always are going after getting the fair value for a client. And you never know if it's as low as it should be or too high without protesting.
Right.
And just because you might not get a reduction one year doesn't mean you shouldn't protest the next year. I wouldn't be
Protest
skipping
every
all
year.
over with different protest companies because the amount, I had this conversation with a client on Monday. Values change from every year. So remember, the chief
Oh, that's a
appraiser
constant, yes.
has to set the values the January 1 of every year. Both us and the appraisal district can only go back 1 year with data. So, mind you, the protest doesn't occur to the middle of the year. So our values were set January 1st, but our protest doesn't start till May 16th through the end of July. They all have to be turned in.
So you're taking the information from May 16th, a year back from there?
No,
Or
January back. Not from May back.
All right.
So we're dealing with that. So that's why sometimes that was really critical, like in 2022, when values kind of dipped, kind of the first part of the second quarter, and everybody thought, well, our values have gone down. They were saying that. No, I'm sorry, but your taxes are set on 2021,
Right.
not on 2022. You're just paying them in 2022.
Because it's
So-
in arrears.
Right. Right.
So it's kind of unique because people don't realize that that's what we're dealing with. But the good news is that's what we're dealing with, and that's what the county is dealing with it. And it's our job when we get any property for every single property owner to make sure that when we get that information and you have the right, even as a property owner, which by the way, you can protest your taxes yourself, you can request the data that the county has. And then you have to learn how to poke holes into their data. We have a proficient system because we have the technology and we've created our own algorithms for each and every county we work in.
Right,
in
because
order
you said
to
that
give
from the
our
beginning.
clients the
That
best
each
result.
county is pulling different, even
Yes.
though they're regulated, but each county is looking at different things.
Yeah, all of it very legal and all that.
Mhm.
Very much so.
Is there any questions that have popped up, Jake? Do you
I'm
have any questions?
surprised.
Not yet.
Well, let's talk about exemptions.
Okay, so but you also not only do residential, y'all will do commercial.
We will do some commercial. We predominantly do multifamily, and we do have a portfolio. I mean, we're dealing with experienced tax agents. So if our clients want us to do commercial, our target market is predominantly residential.
SFR, single family residence.
And multifamily.
And multi. okay.
But we do have, we just took on a portfolio of a client that also had, 18, 20 commercial, single, owner occupied, smaller buildings as, kind of fits into our recipe. If you've got questions about it, you can reach out and we have relationships.
What's the best way
So-
for them to contact you?
They can get to me through Home Tax Shield. We have a web chat that's answered locally, by the way.
Yes.
It's not by somebody in another country. Yeah. And we also have a Facebook page, Home Tax Shield. They can email me at margie@hometaxshield.com.
Yes. Very responsive, very
And I
awesome.
forgot one more.
Yes. Your phone number.
Yes.
Or the home, the
Oh,
office.
I need to pull that up. It's, oh my
Oh,
goodness.
shoot.
512-931.
We
I
will
should
put
have
it.
had that.
We'll,
Yes.
we'll put it
Sorry.
on the, yes.
I have a-
yes, we'll put that on
I
there.
do have a number that comes
Yes,
to me.
because we all have our cell numbers, and but sometimes
Yes.
it may not be you that needs to answer the question. It may be somebody
Yes.
else in your organization.
Right, and we have anyway, the web chat actually is the very best way to get questions answered, because I said that is by local staff, and often our CEO gets on there and answers it. And if
Oh,
there's
wow.
and if there's something that we feel like we need to just pick up the phone and call the person, we will do that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we also have I mentioned earlier about the partner and you being able to sign up for free. It gives you a link that you can share with your clients to get they register all the properties their first year for $15 with the 30% tax success savings fee. But the other thing that comes with our partnership is a partner hotline. And we ask you not to share it with your clients, but you as a partner can call us at any time and we will attend to it. The other nice thing is if you do put something in a web chat that's off hours, we will get back to you the following business day.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
So we really make it easy to do business with us.
Yes, very much so.
Um,
I mean, you just, you all stand out, I'm sorry, from the other competitors because you're willing to talk, you're willing to share, you're willing to help people, and your competitors are not.
Thanks. Oh,
Yes, so,
well, the other thing that we do, we don't make our main focus is property tax consulting, but we do have a value add if you choose to do title and exemption monitoring. I know that's become a big to-do nowadays.
okay.
And then the other is kind of a premium from that where we'll answer all your phone calls and we'll do a lot of little extra things for you, including fighting the title monitoring. And this is really important for people to know. Title monitoring, when you see title monitoring, that only means that we or any other company is going to let you know if something changes at the county level.
Not
That
before.
doesn't mean
Keep it
that
from
doesn't
happening.
mean keep
Right.
it from happening,
Right.
and it doesn't mean fighting it for you. So when you're signing up for those things, you need to really
You need to understand what
you're
you're
getting.
receiving and buying.
A lot of the ID fraud have started adding that too, so it's worth looking into. But that's just a value add. A lot of
So
things
that's
that
the
are
next
happening.
time we need to get her on and share all of that.
We'll talk about the title aspect.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's just a little value add. It's not a huge thing, but it's a concern to a lot of people these days.
Because
so.
I've been asked a lot, is that worthwhile getting these different, companies to follow and all that? So that, yes, we need to get you back and share all that information.
A lot of the counties, just by the way, have it for free. You just have to sign up with your county.
Right.
So you just have to see which county offers that for free online, and they'll
Well,
monitor
Same
it.
thing with credit bureaus. You can lock all three of your credit bureaus,
Right.
and they have to contact
And you
you.
should.
And you should.
And you said,
Most people are paying for
Yes.
credit services and all that. Just lock your
Lock it.
credit.
Right.
If something pops up, they have to contact you.
yes.
Right.
And I
Right.
have a finance background, so that's really, and I also have done all my CFP work, so very high on finance and understanding that, and really on
CFP,
balance,
Consumer Finance Protection.
No, certified financial planning.
Okay.
So,
See,
anybody.
I'm worried about the regulatory.
oh yes,
Oh.
That applies to both of us.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Their fines start at what, $5 million?
Oh, bravo.
my word.
Bravo.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Start.
Woo.
Yeah.
Start.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
I would advise anybody to lock all their credit reports, period. A lot of people don't realize, but CoreLogic this past year got hacked.
Ooh,
So everybody's
that's
information's out
huge.
there.
They have their
Yes.
fingers in a lot
They
of
do.
different stuff.
So basically, everybody's information is out there, including passwords.
Wow.
So you should be changing your passwords. You need to have locks on all the credit reports.
Oh, yes. Okay, Margie, we got to get you back and share all this good information
Well, thank
because
you
it is
all.
valuable.
Do you have any other questions?
Now,
I
any
can-
final thoughts? Jake, do you got anything? Anybody pop up there?
Okay, I'm plugging it one more time.
Yes, please. Let's get that out there.
The Ballard House, the clay shoot, a week from today.
Yay.
Yes. And live auction, a golden doodle.
Oh.
Yes. So Glenn Beckendorf is always there for our live auctioneer.
He's one of the best.
Oh, he is amazing. And so I know he will be elated when he sees that baby girl. Hopefully I don't keep her because I go
She'll be
pick
the
her
star
up.
of the show.
I go pick her up on Wednesday and have her for a couple of days beforehand.
Uh-oh.
So, is
That's
right.
dangerous.
Not good.
Priscilla may not show up.
Yes. Big shout out to Cooper Wade is going to be our entertainment again this year. Thank you, Cooper. You are amazing and just always help and do things. But go to theballardhouse.org if you would like to sign up for the clay shoot, do anything, volunteer, donate. We'd love to see you there.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you all.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
We'll see you next week. Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
guys.